What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel. How you doing? Good to see you. Yes, technically it's Tuesday, but it's still Murder Mystery Monday. Look, again, I've been a little behind. When I tell you I don't want to hear it, I'm back on that. I don't want to hear it. It does not matter. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Really. Shoot, what's been going on with you? I know, like I said, I'm gonna get back on track. I'm gonna do my thing, but I hope everything's going well with you. What's going on in my life? Thank you for asking. Not too much going on in my life. Just still, job searching. I'm doing a lot of, I'll be honest, like I'm doing a lot of kind of like throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks in terms of like trying to figure out, the different ways how can I get paid, to maintain doing like stand up, doing comedy, doing all the different things I do. Follow me on Instagram if you don't. Jared Sucks, the same as this, a couple underscores. Stand up clips, always there, more to come, skits, when I feel inclined. Trying to do that good stuff. But that's it. Shoot, I just want to get a quick update. But things been good. Like I it's weird in life where like sometimes you get to a point where things may be stressful, but you are content in the stress because you're doing what you want. So it's like it's weird. I don't know, being in that weird middle ground, I guess you want to call it. Because you got to put in work to get what you want to be. There's no way around that at all. But I'm preaching. We're supposed to be talking about... I'm not preaching, I'm just talking. But we're supposed to be doing Murder Mystery Monday. We'll get started. We got prime crime. We got teen girls horrifying crime caught on camera. What we gonna do, man? Teen girls are vicious. Teen girls are vicious. They're like little velociraptors. Like they'll bite. They'll bite. So we gonna see. We already got the fully loaded... that's not a deagle, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know anything about guns. All I know is a Glock 48, so it looks like a fully loaded weapon. Let's get into it. All right, here we go.
Magnum and shot her mom 3 times and killed her.
Oh.
Hello? I need medical here.
Her stepfather then arrives home, and Carly proceeds to try to kill him as well.
Hey, where's your wife at, bud? Where's your wife at? She's dead on the floor in that room.
A smart, bubbly teen does the unthinkable.
I use the word diabolical, and I stand by that word.
But is there more to the story?
Oh, no.
She just had a look on her face that was totally unfamiliar to him. It was not the Carly that he knew.
Oh, no, what happened? My wife is dead. What's on the
Yo, what's up? I don't have one in here.
You don't have one? Okay. No worries.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome. Karen,
It is.
something else? Maybe something beyond her control?
What's the location of your emergency?
I'm at 214. Perfect lane. Oh, no, what happened? My wife is dead. What's on the to shoot me?
Your daughter.
I don't know. Nah, she kind of got the same look as that one girl from Hereditary. The evil girl. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that she look exactly like that, but hold on. I hate this, so I don't want to do this. Got that look. Got that look. I'm just saying. That's menacing, though. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's like a big... I always wonder, like... Obviously, gonna have kids, gonna love my kids. I plan on it. But it's like, bro, like, when you hear stories about kids killing their parents, it's like... That can't happen. You know how unexpected that would be? You was just eating fruit snacks. Anyways, whatever.
Tried to shoot you?
Yeah. She ran shooting at me.
March 19th, 2024, in the quiet suburban community of Brandon, Mississippi. Heath Smiley calls 911, so distraught that he's barely understandable.
It was very disturbing. You hear Keith calling and he's crying hysterically, just screeching almost into the phone that his stepdaughter tried to shoot him, tried to kill him.
What's her name?
Carly Gregg.
Carly Gregg? Does she still have a gun on her?
I took it from her. She ran.
You took it from her? And
There you
she
go,
ran?
Smiley.
Yes, sir. She was screaming something at me I couldn't understand. I locked the door. She's outside. I don't know what's going on.
How old is she?
14.
It almost sounds like while he's on the phone with 911, he discovers Ashley's body because you can hear him screaming, "Oh my God, she shot her mom. She shot her mom."
Oh my God, she killed her mom.
She what?
She killed her mom.
She killed her mom? Where's the mom at?
Mom, and when I do this,
She killed her mom. Don't ask me where the mom at. The mom been killed. Where the police? I told you where the mom. The mom dead. She's where dead people go. I need you to hurry up. This is crazy. Being an operator would be nuts, fam. I don't know about that job. I don't know. How much does it pay? Because that's like a... Oh, my goodness.
she tried to kill me.
Where's the mom at? Sir. 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 Okay, sir. Where's your wife?
She's dead on the floor of my stepdaughter's room.
It was chilling to listen to that 911 call.
Officers rushed to the family's home on Ashton Way.
That was bad, I can't lie.
Sheriff's office!
Don't open the door, the cops are here.
It shows him coming up to the home and going to the front door, and you can see Heath answering the door, and he's doubled over. He's got the wound on his shoulder and his trap muscle, and just screaming and crying.
Hey, hey, come outside for me. Hey, come here. Hey, where's your wife at, bud? Where's your wife at?
She's dead on the floor in that room.
The officer gets him out, gets him, he's laying down on the porch there before the officer goes in and checks the house. Number one, to make sure that nobody is in there. And then he finds, of course, Ashley's body.
Sheriff's office!
Keep that thing out. Keep that thing pointed. Oh my God.
Hello? I need medical here.
There were no
It's crazy because it's like... This one almost got me kind of crying. Let me relax. It's crazy because it's like, that's just a normal... that's just a normal room, bruh. Like, that would just be such a normal day. And then having that happen would be... I would honestly probably be like, bro, I'm not even going to try to front. I'm not going to say I would be laid out. I'd be laid out.
reported problems with mom, no prior acts of domestic violence, no police involvement. So I think that this really came as quite a surprise to everybody.
Carly Gregg was 14 years old. She was a very good student. She was very bubbly, very friendly. She seemed very engaged.
And she was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, had a lot of friends. She was just a very smart girl.
Ashley Smiley, Carly's mom, was a very loved school teacher. She taught in the same school that Carly attended.
Lots of teachers that I've spoken with that worked with her spoke about how sweet she was and how kind of a person that she was.
Heath Smiley, although Carly's stepdad, he treated her as his own daughter, that they had a very good relationship. So he really was not just a stepdad, but a real father to her.
She ran into the backyard. I tried to follow her. She jumped the fence and ran. She shot me in the neck. It's okay.
Does she still have the gun?
It's on the kitchen counter. I think there's one live round left in it. I opened the cylinder.
Okay, bro did a lot for coming home from work, seeing his wife dead, and then getting shot at and getting hit in the neck, and then being like, "There's one left in the cylinder." Like, bro did a lot for being really compromised. I gotta give it to him. He stood on it. It looks like he's a nurse or a doctor or something, so he stood on it. I'll give him that.
What I was gonna say is, if you need to get anything with him, do it. Yeah. And we will have somebody come to the hospital, I'm sure. The gun that's used is right there on the counter in the kitchen. No.
Meanwhile, another police unit picks up Carly Gregg.
Kilo unit has got the female subject in custody. Investigations requested she be brought here to the scene. 10-4.
A police officer that was on his way to the scene saw a girl crawling out of a storm drainage ditch.
She doesn't recall getting there. She doesn't recall leaving the house. She just went from taking the dogs outside in the backyard to being on her hands and knees in the ditch.
So he pulls over and he asks Carly, "Are you involved with the shooting that's happened?" And he says, "Yes, sir." And so she puts him in the vehicle. They go down closer.
Step out real quick for me. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all around to the front of you, okay? I'm going to move the handcuffs around to the front of you. Okay. All right. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to swab your hands, okay? Yeah. Right. Now, I'll ask you a bunch of questions, but obviously you fired with a pistol, correct? Okay.
She was very small and she's very young, and she looked so young. Like, even though she was 14 when the crime happened, she looked more like a 12-year-old.
I need you to hold your hand out like this. I'm going to do your right hand first, okay?
Which hand did you shoot with?
Okay.
Which hand did you shoot with?
Carly in the
Don't remember. I don't know what you're doing, because it's like, Carly, like, you was putting rounds out. You was putting rounds all over. You was putting rounds everywhere. Oh. What do you mean you don't remember? Carly! Where's Sam at? She can help. Did we get Carly? God.
The body camera footage seemed very calm in that moment and very concerned with what was going on, or how Heath was.
They're taking her into custody, and you hear Carly very clearly ask, "How is my stepdad?"
All right.
Is my stepdad okay? I don't know, baby. I can't talk to you about this.
It's interesting.
Yeah, he's okay. You blicked him in the neck, but he good. He good, Carly. You want what else did you want to ask about? While we're here, did you know? What else did you want to ask about? Everybody doing the dogs good. Did you put two on them too? Come on, Carly.
In that, she didn't ask how her mother was. I guess she knew.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carly was taken into custody within, I believe, 2 hours of the incident occurring. Within an hour of actually shooting her stepfather.
So Carly was charged with first-degree murder for the murder of her mother, Ashley Smiley. She was also charged with attempted murder for her stepfather, Heath Smiley, and then charged with tampering with evidence, and that stems from her hiding the security camera that was in their kitchen.
What's most interesting in this case is that a majority of what happened in the case has been documented by the cameras in the house.
That's right. We can actually watch this shocking story play out in real time.
And then Carly returns to the kitchen, trying to conceal the gun behind her back, sits at the kitchen counter.
The dogs know. They literally know. The dogs know.
Back sits at the
they like,
kitchen
oh,
counter.
He right there. He's like, oh nah, this bitch done did something crazy. This one already kind of know. That's why he keep. This one's like, he just had to confirm, because I just can't accept it. And then he said, oh nah. He knew right there, and he knew too. As soon as he did that, oh nah. Oh nah.
No one was around, so she sat down and sort of collected herself and her thoughts about her next move.
Based on what Carly Gregg's stepfather has told police, it seems his teenage daughter came home from school, killed her mom, and then tried to kill him. Police used footage from home security cameras to piece together exactly what happened.
On the afternoon of March 19th, after Carly and her mom got home from school, and according to her friends, her two good friends who were the last people to see them at school, Carly was fine, her mom was fine, not upset. From the video footage from the garage, they didn't. Her mom was
ethnic hair right here. It's ethnic hair. So she got brown friends, brown, black friend maybe, so you always just gotta see. You gotta check. That's a good barometer. You can't tell me, you just gotta see. Tells you more about the person. That's all.
Was fine, not upset. From the video footage from the garage, they did not appear to be fighting. There was no argument taking place in the car when they pull up in the driveway.
From the video, it seems that Ashley Smiley goes to her daughter's room to the right of the kitchen. Carly Gregg checks on where her mom is and then goes outside with the family dogs. Ashley confirms that her daughter is outside.
And then Carly comes back into the house. And if you can see from the security camera footage, Carly is walking very slowly, and she kind of turns in the direction of where we're told her bedroom is, where her mother is. She then walks quietly and quickly towards the opposite end of the house where Ashley and Heath Smiley's bedroom was. She got the gun from her mother's side of the bed. The gun was loaded. They had cubbies along the bottom of their bed, and the gun was on Ashley.
If you're gonna have a gun in the house, as an adult, don't. I mean, maybe your partner. Yeah, I'll let my partner know. Don't tell anybody else where that thing is. Not even your own kids. You can't do that. It's a kid. You can't do that. That's crazy. Like it's got to be in a safe. Only you know the code, and your partner know the code. Because it's like, don't. It's a kid. Like, it's a kid. They might hurt you, but they more importantly might hurt themselves. Like, you just gotta be careful about that.
Ashley's side of the bed in one of the cubbies, and then you can see her coming back across the house with the gun behind her back. When she is walking past the entrance to the kitchen area, you can see where she looks into the kitchen. Almost.
See, the dogs already know. Again, they already know. But what can you do?
To make sure that her mother has not left the bedroom and gone into the kitchen, but to make sure where her mom was.
He like, nigga, what is that?
That her mother has not left the bedroom and gone into the kitchen. But
yo, this bitch got a bammer. Oh well. They really knew.
Sure where her mom was. So she does not see her mom. He wanted to go outside. He's like, yeah, she goes into the bedroom. She shoots her mom once, twice. You hear a thud on the ground.
Like, that's not funny. They're just like, the dogs got me weak. Cause they really just watched this happen. That it's like, they just watched this happen. Like, you just like, bro, what's happening? This is just a normal day. I was about to go pee on the floor.
Once, twice. You hear a thud on the ground.
He's like, oh, nah.
Well, you hear a thud, and we're assuming that is Ashley Smiley falling to the ground dead. And then Carly shoots her one more time, point blank in the face. It was less than 36 inches from her mother's face.
Right after Carly shot her mom, she went into the kitchen, and she calmly went to a phone, which you later learned was her mother's phone, and texted her stepdad as if she was her mom, asking, in quotes, when will you be home, honey?
They again, this is what, because this, okay, so this is now right after she shot him, and this dog's like, nah, nigga. This bitch crazy. He already knows. This dog is like, once, I feel bad for this one, because this one really wants to believe that she didn't just do something crazy. that she didn't just do something crazy. He had to sniff the hand and be like, oh no, wow. Confirmed she nuts.
So almost acting like her now dead mother, texting her stepfather.
It's almost like she was trying to impersonate her mom and lure him back home. He says he's going to be a little while longer, and she sends back a thumbs up.
I think that forethought and the fact that she was so manipulative in thinking to use the words, honey, when are you going to be home, to set up her stepfather, Heath, to arrive at the home where apparently she planned to kill him as well.
But she appeared very cool and calm right after shooting her mom 3 times.
Chilling, she was chilling. She
And
went
then
and sat on the
Carly
stool.
texts a friend and invites the friend over.
Oh, what?
She had actually FaceTimed, called more than one friend after she had shot her mom. Carly was saying that she had really effed up, that she had messed up, and they were saying, well, don't do anything, don't hurt yourself, don't do anything bad. And she had said to them, I already have. One of her friends asked if they needed to call 911, and Carly responded to them, no, don't do that. You can't do that.
Bizarrely, Carly Gregg even sings for a moment before returning to her bedroom.
It appeared
Okay, I'm not. This is not funny, but it's crazy. It's so crazy. It's got me laughing. It's the dogs. It's the singing. It's the casual way that she went and just put, I guess, 4 or 5 rounds in her mom's face, body and face, and came back and just, and the 2 dogs are really what's got me in this. I know I keep bringing them up, but I can't get over the 2 dogs. Like the one being like, nigga, did you not just see that? And the other one being like, hold on, bro. Like, hold on. And he's like, bro, she not gonna let you hit, bro. Did you not just see what she did?
that what Carly did in between making those phone calls and talking to her friend was that she posed her mother's body. She got a red towel and covered her mother's face with it. She had her mom's arms, like her hands across the stomach, put her hands across the stomach, almost like someone would be in a casket type of thing. So then the friend that comes over, when she gets to the front door.
I had everybody got a teacher that looked like that. And I'm upset because those are always the nicest teachers on the fucking block. Those are always the nicest teachers on the block when they look like that. Kind of wrinkly smile, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But soft face. You know she was nice. You know every once in a while she's giving out answers on the homework after school. You know it. You know it. She wasn't asking too many questions when he was in the bathroom too long. It's those teachers, man. That's tough.
Door. Carly opens the door and asks her, says something along the lines of, "Do dead bodies make you squeamish?" And she takes the friend inside and shows the friend her mom.
If that's the first question I get asked when my friend opened the door, I don't know you. Do dead bodies make you squeamish? I already called the police. It's not even like that, bro. Cause I'm black, so if I'm in the premises, they're taking me at least in for questioning. So I just want it to be known that I got nothing to do with this. Do dead bodies make me squeamish? What? Huh? Close this door. Close the door talking to me like that, bro. Why did you? I'll be so mad. Never mind.
On the floor as the dead in her bedroom.
Acting as if she wanted to show off what she had just done, killing her mom, and showing her friend her mother's dead body. So it was quite jarring information to learn about this 14-year-old girl.
She told her friend, she said, I put 3 in my mom. I've got 3 more for my stepdad. He's on his way home now. And so she told her,
I put 3 in my mom. I got 3 waiting for the next nigga. That's wild behavior. Wild behavior.
Her friend to go out and hide in the backyard until her stepdad got home and she could finish the job with him.
Less than an hour later, her stepfather, Heath Smiley, comes home.
She was waiting for him, gun in hand. He's coming through the door. She gets shots off. She manages to shoot him in the shoulder until he can overpower her.
And Carly, you can hear her the entire time screaming like a mad person. You can hear on the surveillance camera footage from the laundry room, you can hear where Heath Smiley first gets shot. It was about 6 inches away from his head. If it would have been just a little bit over, he would have been possibly been killed as well. We don't have the surveillance video of her actually shooting him because she had taken the security camera that was in the kitchen. She took it down and hid it in the refrigerator. And then she takes off running out the back door. When the friend who is outside hiding sees her running, the friend follows Carly just because she's terrified at this moment. And you can see in the security video from the garage, Carly hopping over a fence and then also the friend hopping over a fence.
And that's when Heath Smiley calls 911 and police catch up with Carly Gregg. But did her shocking behavior come out of the blue, or did something motivate her to turn on both her parents so violently? When police interview her friends, they reveal that something had happened earlier that day.
Apparently, a friend was very concerned about Carly, saying that she had been vaping marijuana on a regular basis.
She had been talking to boys, had a burner phone.
So he reports that.
Okay. First of all, stop calling Carly a teenager. This is not a teenager. She got a burner phone that she texting niggas on. She gassed up all day. Apparently, off the pen at that age is crazy. I can see you hitting some tree, hidden tree, totally normal, whatever. But off the pen, I mean, it's not that crazy. I guess I remember being in high school, but like, she plotting like she's 22, or she plotting very, very beyond her years. Is all I'm saying. She plotting very beyond her years. Is all I'm saying.
His concerns to Ashley Smiley at the school that day before they leave. Miss Smiley was not upset. She was more disappointed in herself and a little worried, but not upset, not angry when Carly and her mom left that day.
It came up that possibly Carly had some issues as far as being afraid of disappointing her mother.
Carly and her mom have a very deep, connected relationship, and Carly really feels responsible for her mom's feelings to the point that she doesn't want to do anything that would cause her mom to be worried or upset.
But it seemed to have been a reaction by Carly to that moment of mom searching her room, speaking to her friend about her vaping, her pot use, her marijuana use, her burner.
Skywalker OG is crazy. That one, Skywalker OG is crazy. That's why she turned on her own people, because she was smoking that Anakin. She was smoking that Anakin, and she lost it. That's exactly what it was. Just like him, she pulled it. Because you didn't want to disappoint your mom. Like, don't put 3 in her body. Don't put 3 in her body. She probably wouldn't be that. You know, things change, rearrange, and so do I. We would have been okay. Miami Mango, Purple Haze, and Strawberry Cough, all bullshit. But Skywalker OG, that's the one that did it.
Our phones, that culmination ended up with mom paying with her life.
It seems Carly Gregg has been having problems for a while.
I think to really understand the events on March 19th, you have to back the clock all the way up to the fall of 2023, when Carly first began to exhibit signs of her mental illness. She was having a difficult time sleeping. She was having racing thoughts. She was having intrusive thoughts. She was very depressed, very anxious, very on edge. She was having a difficult time with her memory. Things that were abnormal for Carly.
She said, looking back, I think I came across as moody or unempathetic. I can't make up my mind. I use a lot of phrases like I don't have an answer for that and I apologize. that I think sounded super indifferent or something akin to that. Okay, vocabulary already pretty nice. I feel really bad. I was just a mixture of deathly numb and filled with indescribable rage, in collision with a terrible regret and sadness. I think I shut down. When I went to my room after all was said and done, I just sat and stared blankly at nothing in particular. It was as if I was completely empty and waiting for something to reboot me. Incredibly surreal and unpleasant experience. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. Well versed for a young kid. Dangerous when their mind is a little too expansive like that too quick, because you got a lot of knowledge and not the emotional intelligence to handle it, and then you put 3 in your mom and 1 in your stepdad. So if my kids score a little too high on the little kid test that they do, I'm gonna keep an eye on that nigga. I want him to score. I just want him to be a little stupid. I want him to be a little stupid. Just play video games and chase booty. But like talking about an indescribable, numb, empty, deathly feeling, like, whoa, nigga, you ain't played Fortnite, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't want to watch SpongeBob or nothing? I don't know. Like, you relax.
Because her stepfather began to pick up on it and notice it, started talking to her mom about it.
This is somebody that was cutting herself. This was somebody that was writing very troubling things in her journal.
Finally, her stepdad and mom talked with Carly in December of 2023. They enter her in therapy, and they also start her on Zoloft in January of 2024 to help treat her anxiety and
stay away from them pills. I don't care what you got going on. Stay away from them pills. Don't do anything but take them pills.
Depression. Carly comes back, I believe, on March 13th of 2024 and reports to her nurse practitioner that the Zoloft is making her feel just completely numb, zombified. So they decide then to take her off the Zoloft and switch her to Lexapro. Carly becomes even more on edge, even more manic.
And there's something else that may be contributing to Carly Gregg's mental health issues.
Her biological father, Kevin Gregg, he had a history of mental illness, and Ashley was often afraid that Carly was going to have the same issues that her father had.
He did have significant mental health issues and had been on several medications for schizophrenia and bipolar disorder too. So we don't know what might have led to the acute stressful episode, other than it was sort of the perfect storm for Carly. All of these things were coming to a head all at once, and for whatever reason,
you can see you can see how sad she is. You can like feel that in her eyes. It's not an excuse, but like you can feel it.
And the spiral just completely fell apart at that time. There was a lot of hope that the jury would understand, mental illness and the effect of being put on the wrong medication.
Hey, so I want to quickly thank Odoo for sponsoring Prime Crime, making episodes like this possible. And this is
why his nose look like that? Come on, bro. You killing the vibes.
Ready to get their pound of flesh. They were very upset about it. They wanted justice to happen. They wanted her to be, held accountable for this crime.
Teenager Carly Gregg is not granted bail as she awaits trial for killing her mother and attempting to kill her stepfather. Instead, she'll be held in an adult facility because she'll be tried as an adult. And that puts her in a very difficult position.
Yeah.
Because she is a minor placed in an adult facility, she has to be held out of sight and sound of any adults being detained at the detention center, which ultimately leads to her being placed in solitary confinement 24 hours a day unless an attorney came to see her. She wasn't even allowed visitation.
That ain't right.
That's a really hard situation for anyone to be in, let alone a minor who's already experiencing mental health issues.
Yeah.
Apparently hoping to spare Gregg any more time in solitary than necessary, the judge expedites the trial. Defense attorney Bridget Todd and prosecutors will have less than 6 months to prepare their cases.
I was quite amazed how short a period of time from the time of the crime to the actual trial, a murder trial like this, where a young girl is looking at spending the rest of her life in jail, I am amazed that it was put forth so quickly.
And it seems the prosecution has a clear advantage.
It's a prosecutor's case, definitely. The defense definitely had a harder road ahead with the case.
The prosecution's strategy was they had a lot of video footage to put forward.
The video is very compelling. It shows a very calm, premeditated, manipulative girl murdering her mother. So that's hard to overcome.
Then, before the trial begins, during the pre-trial hearings, the state offers Gregg a chance to hedge her bets in a case that seems stacked against her.
They initially gave her a 40-year plea deal, which is still a long time, but considering what she was up against, was not. And they offered it to her once during pretrial, and then right before the trial happened.
Someone who's 14 or 15, 40 years is your whole life without the possibility of parole. And that's a really weighty thing.
All right, Ms. Gregg, did you receive that recommendation of 40 years?
Yes, sir.
And it was your choice and your choice alone to reject that recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
She was asked 2 questions by a judge. Do you understand this? There is no way 14-year-olds understand the severity, the complexity, the permanency of what she was asked.
Yes, you can understand it, but you look down your mom. And you try to look down your stepdad. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that as a judge, as the person who's in charge of this woman's fate, basically, right? It's kind of like there's a whole array of things they don't understand. But there's a lot of things I didn't understand as a 14-year-old. I didn't look down nobody. Now, I wasn't on Lexapro. I wasn't on, down on that path. But I didn't blick nobody down. And then text him after and start singing show tunes. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with that. That's why I'm not a judge.
He proceeds to trial. Count 1, what's the potential sentence?
Life.
If the jury fails to affix the sentence at life, what's the sentencing range?
20 years to 40 years.
All right, and count 2, what's the potential sentence?
Between 20 years and life.
As a defense attorney, you are only the messenger, and it is not your decision. The defense attorney goes to her client and says, "This is the best offer I can get for you." And Carly says, "Absolutely not. I'm going to roll the dice. I don't want to go."
She was not talking to nobody on that phone. That was set up shot.
To jail for 40 years. I'd rather take my chances. And ultimately, it's the defendant's decision, even though she's 14 or 15 years old.
Carly, of her own free will and decision, decided that she trusts the Rankin County jurors more than she trusts a 40-year plea offer by the state.
And apparently she believed that their defense of her was going to be strong enough to get her through.
Carly Gregg's trial gets underway in September 2024, about 6 months after the shootings.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear testimony throughout the next few days during this case. You'll hear about some secret life that Carly lived. You'll hear that she was secretly cutting on her thigh using a knife. You'll hear that she secretly had burner phones her mom and stepdad didn't know about, that she was using. You'll hear that she had secret weed vape pens and that she was secretly smoking those vape pens and getting high before going to school at times.
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm done.
That's not why we're here, though. We're here because of what she did on March the 19th, 2024.
I thought the prosecution had a lot of evidence, but I was more interested in the things that the prosecution didn't have, like a motive or a history of violence or a kid that was troubled.
The defense strategy was that she's a 14-year-old girl and she had to have had some psychotic break because no one said she was crazy before. There's not history of her abusing her mother, or there were prior police calls or police reports or prior violence anyone discussed of anything about Carly.
If the defense could prove that Gregg had had a psychotic break, she could be found not guilty by reason of temporary insanity. Then she might avoid prison and instead be treated in a mental health facility.
This is not a whodunit case. We know
who took action on March 19th to bring about the death of Ashley Smiley and the injuries to Heath Smiley. However, this is a why case. Why did it happen? Why did this exceptional child with no history of violence, who was loved by her friends, her teachers, her parents, who had a good home life, who loved her mother, why did she shoot her mom? Why did she shoot at her stepfather? The state would like you to believe the answer to those questions don't matter.
But we know better than that.
The answers to those questions is why we're here today.
But I believe that they felt very strongly about their defense. We knew who did it. It was just a matter of whether or not this was actually an insanity defense.
While the events on March 19th were tragic, the events on March 19th were not intentional. And at the end of this trial, if the state's case still leaves you feeling like their version of events just doesn't make sense, then you must return a verdict of not guilty.
And as you'll see, the complicated issue of mental health will take center stage.
In that week leading up to March 19th, she told me that the voices were getting worse, that they were becoming more urgent, more insistent, more of a problem for her.
I don't know. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, you do have to consider mental health with stuff like this. Like, you just have to. It's like, tough, but you have to consider it. And so it's like, you know, what is the right middle ground to deal with something like that? Like, what is the right middle ground in order to deal with, like, somebody who's clearly struggling and really needs help versus they I'm gonna say it again, you put 3 in somebody, not 1. What brought at him? Not 1, not 2, 3. That's a lot. I don't know. Where's the right, like, how do you deal with that properly? Because I don't think putting all of them in a, being like, oh, we're just gonna put them in a mental health facility instead of jail, or like, I don't know. You even ask the question, like, is there anything you can do with someone like that? You know, like, I don't know. It's crazy.
She looked beyond remorseful. She was crying. She was shaking. She looked so innocent. She looked so helpless.
As testimony begins in the trial of teenager Carly Gregg, charged with murdering her mother and shooting her stepfather, she can barely keep her emotions under control, especially during her stepdad's 911 phone call.
How would you describe Mr. Smiley's demeanor whenever you first picked up the phone off of that day?
He was very distraught. At first, I thought I was speaking with a female.
Okay. Hold on, Kevin. Kevin, hold on, bro. Whoa. I get how Smiley was I get how he was doing a lot, but whoa. That's all I'm saying. There was a lot happening. Kevin, you don't have to come at me like that. It's not even like that. And don't say it all casual and professional like that. So if I get upset, I like, Kevin. Kevin, we could. Hold on, Kevin.
Whenever you first picked up the phone off of that day,
he was very distraught.
Kevin, don't make me get on you. Don't make me get on you, Kevin. Kevin. I don't. Kevin?
At first, I thought I was speaking with a female.
She had not ever seen those videos or heard those videos before.
Where's your wife at? She's dead on the floor in that room.
When she first covered her ears, I didn't expect that. But I think for her, she didn't want to hear it. She didn't. It was so traumatic and so painful.
She was crying, and it did seem to be genuine.
In all the time that you've known Carly, would you describe her as callous?
No.
Would you describe her as calculating?
No, except with math.
Would you describe her as diabolical?
No.
How would you describe Carly?
She's just a sweet little girl ever since I've known her.
She had a very good relationship with her stepdad, Heath Smiley. She had written him a very touching Father's Day card about thank you for being the only real dad I've ever had. He took an interest in her.
How did Carly appear to you when you walked in?
Like I said, my initial thoughts were she was terrified, scared out of her mind. I still, to this day, don't think she ever even recognized me. Something was wrong there. I don't know what, but something was off.
In that garage video, just that feral screaming from the minute she walks in the door, and you hear Heath from the garage saying, "Carly, it's me. What's the matter?" And there's just nothing but feral screaming from Carly.
It was very evident to me immediately that something was very, very off with Carly.
He was so convinced by Carly's genuine state of terror that even after he's been shot in the shoulder and Carly has left the house, he is walking around the house with the handgun, going room to room, looking for an intruder because he genuinely believed that there was an intruder in the house based on the state of terror Carly was in when he arrived home.
And then turned and went.
It actually makes a lot of sense. That's fair, where it's like you think that she's just so traumatized that she starts shooting at whoever she saw. Like this guy is a really good guy. That's tough. Because he's a really good guy. Fun name, Smiley. His name is Smiley, really nice guy, and then, jeez.
Into Carly's room. And that's where I found Ashley.
When you found Ashley, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen what you saw?
She was laying on her back and had her hands kind of across her, and a towel over her face.
And Heath, when you moved the towel, what did you see?
I knew she had been shot. There was blood around, but I don't really recall exactly where, somewhere in the right side of her face.
There was a lot of emotion surrounding her stepfather, but there was not a lot of emotion surrounding her mother. And so that led to a lot of people having less sympathy for Carly.
The defense calls their first and only mental health expert to the stand.
Based on your evaluation, was there a period of time in which Carly's mental health issues began to be more significant?
Yes, her journal entry from March 12th of 2024, 1 week before the incident. So writing on March 12th, Tuesday, she writes, "I think I had a psychotic break earlier. The whole ordeal was quite silly. I actually spoke with one of the voices in my head. My particular friend and I were practically screaming, bloodthirstily and ravenously. Thank God, physical confrontation was not, and I think it's fruitively, possible. I sound crazy."
Carly had written a journal entry about her friend.
Carly was a little bit all over the place. That's Carly was talking to the moon, man.
The voice taking over and feeling like it was taking over control of her, and she was losing control of herself to the voice in her head, and she was worried about it.
What, if any, diagnostic impressions did you come to based on the records you reviewed, your experience, your expertise, your evaluation of Carly, and the family members that you spoke to?
Number one, her mood disorder. Right, so I gave her the diagnosis of bipolar 2, and I saw her as having suffered from some significant depression, and then some hypomanic episodes, and then worsening a mood disorder that was worsened by the Lexapro medication from March 12th onward. Certainly in the week or weeks leading up to the incident, the voices were becoming more prominent, more urgent, more of a problem, and likely really had crossed over into the domain of what I would call psychosis.
Her friends had reported that she had become very irritable, on edge, which sort of matches with what we're seeing from the signs of mental illness, that she had, withdrawn a little bit more wasn't her like normal happy-go-lucky self.
I think Carly has a much more severe psychiatric illness than anybody realized.
Do you believe that Carly was able to understand the nature of her conduct and appreciate the difference between right and wrong at the time this incident occurred on March 19th?
I don't think so.
Carly's defense team, they only called one expert witness, but I believe that they felt very strongly about their defense and felt like what he had to say would be sufficient.
The prosecution calls 4 mental health experts, and they have a much different take on Carly Gregg's state of mind.
So she's denying seeing things that other people don't see and hearing things that other people don't see. Right. Did she report that she was hearing voices? No.
Any blackouts, any lapses in time?
No. There have been no thoughts of abnormal or psychotic thoughts. Is that correct?
Right.
What was her behavior like?
Completely normal.
And at no time did she report any hallucinations or delusions? At no time did she report any memory or concentration issues?
No.
And while one nurse practitioner testifies that the change in Carly Gregg's medication could have affected her behavior, other experts disagree.
They put on their experts to show that there is no way that the dosage of medication that she was taking and the medication, the type of medication, could at any way create such a psychotic break with reality that you kill someone or you are in such a bad bipolar state that you had no idea what you were doing.
When you learned about the events that had transpired on March 19th, were you shocked?
It's the most shocking day of my life.
And that's based on the 9 sessions you had with Carly and the hours you spent with her.
Yes, because I had no clue that nor had she ever reported that she was severely mentally troubled to any degree like that.
I want to talk a little bit about bipolar because it's my understanding that that's one of the diagnoses that Dr. Clark gave to Carly Gregg. Can you talk about whether or not you believe that Carly Gregg actually has either bipolar 1 or bipolar 2?
I highly doubt and do not believe that Carly has bipolar disorder.
The prosecution was very thorough. 4 people evaluated this defendant on the prosecution side, giving 4 different evaluations that came to the same conclusion. That's extremely strong evidence for the prosecution. Almost as strong as the video of the calm, cool, and collected defendant.
The video of her clearly blicking somebody down and then getting on her phone and hanging out. Yes, and look, I'm just gonna keep bringing them up. Again, this dog, I pray for this dog, but this dog knows what the deal is. This must be the newer dog, or something.
Right after committing a murder.
The prosecution's final witness circles back to Carly Gregg's journals.
There's a lot of things in these journals, and some of them are concerning. She says, what do I believe? And she writes these tenets down, and one of them says, it's okay to be evil. There is no God. Heaven and hell are fake. Love is important. You don't need family. Writing your own destiny with a check mark beside it.
She was saying it doesn't.
Look, for the first one to be there is no God is a little bit crazy. Let's make that you can make that the 3rd, 4th, 5th one. Coming out the gate with no spirit, no conviction. Can't have that, Carly. You don't need family, Carly. You can't put that right below love is important. You don't need family. Weird. I don't know. It's okay to be evil. We gonna have to talk about that one. Sometimes you must jump into the dark to truly see the light. That's just poetic. Now I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one, Carly. You can keep the rest, but I'm with you on that one. Go to your place of comfort often. Okay, sometimes you blend in, but never forget. Okay, yeah. She's actually she's like a good writer. But we starting off, no God, heaven, hell, or fake. Let's relax. You're 14, relax. Watch do something else.
It doesn't matter to her if she didn't have a family. So there was some, clearly this was a troubled child.
But a prosecution witness puts it in harsher terms.
I used the word diabolical. And I stand by that word. I do not believe Carly is diabolical person. I do not believe she's an evil person. When Carly on that day went and unlocked the phone, texted a specific target, her stepfather, who she told me was more of a father figure to her than Kevin was, and said, "You almost home, honey." When she did that to me, that was very specific and diabolical. And that to me is not consistent with a dissociative spell. That is not consistent with psychosis. That is not consistent with mania. And it's definitely not consistent with hypomania. To me, that was deceitful.
The defense would have had to have established that Carly didn't know that what she did was wrong, that she had some psychotic break that stopped her from being basically a human being, knowing that killing is forever, shooting your mother is not right, and that your behavior is criminal in this regard.
What was your ultimate opinion as to whether or not Carly Gregg was insane at the time of the murder, attempted murder, and tampering with physical evidence on March the 19th, 2024?
So my opinion is that Carly does not meet Mississippi's standard for insanity at the time of the offense, and that she knew the nature, quality, and wrongfulness of her actions during that day.
They said that she clearly presented as someone who was not insane, but someone who had signs of being manipulative and having psychotic behavior. So that was very important for the prosecution.
After 4 days of testimony, the prosecution and defense present their closing arguments.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt that Carly Madison Gregg is the one who killed her mom, Ashley Smiley. There's no doubt that she attempted to kill P. Smiley when she aimed the gun right at his head and shot and hit him in the shoulder. And there's no doubt that she's the one who hid the camera, thus tampering with evidence in the refrigerator. And we would ask you that you go back there and you find her guilty of all three, because she was not insane at the time that this happened. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she knew the difference between right and wrong.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. It's what Oscar Wilde said. While she was having a state of psychosis and an episode of acute stress on March 19th, she lost herself in what was the perfect storm. I am asking you, for those reasons, to please find Carly Gregg not guilty by reason of insanity, and finally quell this storm for Carly and her family. I ask you to search your hearts.
What? Who is this? What? Anyways, here's my question. Do you think that defense attorney actually believes that she didn't do these things, like she actually had a mental break, or do you think she's just trying to get it like a check, trying to do something? That's my question. Do you think she actually believes that, what she's saying, or do you think she's just doing it for the check?
And remember the undisputed truths in this case.
A lot to consider in what is a very difficult case. What will the jury decide when it comes to 15-year-old Carly Gregg?
This is a tough story. It is. There's really none here, but it's really hard to make that voice.
Just an evil person.
In the case of 15-year-old Carly Gregg charged with the murder of her mother and the attempted murder of her stepfather, the jury reaches a verdict.
Ms. Gregg, please rise and come to the podium, along with your attorneys. Verdict of the jury is count one. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment.
Cooked.
Count two. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment.
Cooked.
Count three. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in the indictment.
Fried.
Please be seated, Ms. Gregg.
It was less than 2 hours, so they come back and they found her guilty on all 3 counts. They did believe that Carly had mental health issues, that she was going through something mental health-wise. But as far as an insanity defense goes, it just did not reach that criteria.
I don't think they were presented with enough evidence about her. I don't think they ever saw a likable side of Carly. They saw a little girl, a young girl, sitting in court, crying a lot. But that's about all they got to see of her.
So they had basically 3 options with sentencing, which was sentence her to life with the possibility of parole. They could turn the sentence portion over to the judge and allow the judge to render the sentence instead of the jury themselves, or they could sentence her to life.
The verdicts read as follows. As to count 1, we the jury sentence the defendant Carly Madison Gregg to life imprisonment. As to count 2, we the jury sentence the defendant Carly Madison Gregg to life imprisonment.
Jeez.
Sentences will run concurrent.
It is scary what she did and horrible what she did, but she's still a 14-year-old kid that does not appear to have received a fair shake from our justice system. And now she's in jail for the rest of her life, 15 years old, until she dies.
She is in a facility that houses violent offenders, juvenile violent offenders, and she will remain there until she turns 18, and that's when she will move over to the adult division.
Gregg's attorneys filed a motion for a new trial, but it was denied by the judge. However, the defense is now appealing the verdict.
It's definitely one of the more memorable cases that I've tried. When you're representing a juvenile being tried as an adult, the stakes are obviously heightened, not just legally, but emotionally. I genuinely care about Carly. She is a good kid, and I think anybody that knows Carly is lucky to know her. And I know some people will find that hard to believe, but people are more than the worst thing they've ever done.
A lot of people feel like that she got what she deserved, but you do still have that fringe group of people who believe that it was an unjust sentence and that she should not have gotten it. Regardless of the outcome of the trial, there's no winners. There's no winners here. It's just very sad.
A 15-year-old.
That's a lot of life. She basically got 2 life sentences if I interpreted that right. I don't know, but again, how do you handle something like that? She still blicked down somebody, her own mother of all people, her own school teacher mother, and tried to kill her stepfather, who she had a great relationship with. What do you do for something like that? What do you do? Maybe not, I don't know if I would have done life with no parole, just throw her behind bars and have her sit there, but I mean, something bad is, yeah, we got to punish you somehow, but sheesh, I don't know. All right, I don't know. All right, that's a watch your kids. Make sure your kids happy, man. Make sure your kids happy. Keep them off the pills. That's big. Keep them off the pills. Make sure they're happy. Tell them to start making TikToks, if anything. That, do something, Don't grab the shotty. Anyways, all right, y'all. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. Have a good day. Be blessed. Have a good week. Make yourself smile. Make yourself laugh. Take it easy.